Students of 8th class, let's continue learning history, chapter 4, that is the Maurya Empire. Students, in 4th century BC, that means there was a great settlement of the Aryans, and the Maurya Empire emerged under Chandragupta Maurya. He was the founder. Before that, Nanda dynasty was overthrown by him. Okay, in the Magadha kingdom, Nanda dynasty. Okay, and then he also defeated Seleucus in the region of Punjab, that is in Pakistan and so on. And then extended his boundary. Then his son Bindusara and Ashoka reigned in India. That means in the Magadha Empire. And Chandragupta Maurya and under Bindusara, Ashoka created a big pan-Indian empire. And they had great administration, and we shall learn. But under Ashoka, the administration had a little bit of change. Okay, because of the Kalinga war, his whole life got changed. He was converted into a new man. And students, we have some of the sources. We have literary sources of Kautilya, that is the Arthashastra of Kautilya. It's a book written by we can call him Chanakya also, and Vishnugupta or Chanakya or Kautilya. It is a comprehensive manual that deals with politics, rules of diplomacy, principles of administration, and such political topics. So students, we come to know about economical, political, social, historical facts from this book. And then we have Indica, a Megasthenes in the court of Chandragupta, and he was ambassador, a Greek ambassador. He also wrote a book, Indica. He wrote a book containing his impressions of what he heard and saw during his stay in India, and especially his explanation about Patliputra. And then we have some of the archaeological sources, that is the Edicts of Ashoka. It also gives us great information, that is provide us useful insight into the life and ideals of Ashoka in particular, and about the history of Mauryas in general, and also a great change after the conquest of Kalinga. Okay, that means he gave up fighting or battles. So these are the inscriptions. And then we have Sanchi Stupa. Okay, it is a dome-like structure. In the picture you can see a dome-like structure here, and it represents the spiritual body of the Buddha. Okay, there are some relics kept. It could be hair, it could be teeth or bones, and it is in Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, then we are avoiding political history. Okay, about Chandragupta Maurya and Bindusara and Ashoka. Okay, that you can personally study this one. Okay, and now we will straightway move to the administration. So students, we have a pan-Indian character. It was the first time that India, in the history of India, a big pan-Indian empire was created. Okay, earlier there were small villages during the Aryan settlement, and then it took the form of cities, and then slowly kingdoms, and a big empire under Chandragupta Maurya. So this you can see a big empire. Otherwise, there were small kingdoms. So that's why it has got its own advantage. It marked the end of small states, as I told you, small kingdoms. It helped in establishing trade links with the foreign countries. So what the sovereign king or the emperor will think, with whom to establish good relation with other countries, so that he decided. It made India strong and helped Maurya kings face foreign aggression also. That means no one could attack because all the kingdoms were united under one banner, under one king. After Ashoka's victory over Kalinga, the era of conquest wars were over. So students, according to Chanakya, who was the chief advisor of Chandragupta Maurya, that we can study from Arthashastra about the politics of under Chandragupta. Then Bindusara retained the same system of his father Chandragupta. But Ashoka brought some changes. So we are going to learn civil administration and central administration. In the central administration, Maurya government was centralized, and the head of judicial head and army head was the king. Okay, the whole power rested in his hand. Okay. Then at the central level, the king was assisted by council of ministers, that is the prime minister, and many other ministers like Prohit, Senapati, Sanidata, Samharta, like this. Then further, the central government was divided into provincial government. Okay, so these were the provinces, Magda, Gandhara, Avanti, and these were the capitals. Now, the head of the province was called Kumar or Aryaputra. Okay, so these were the provincial government, and then we have district government. The administration was looked after by Pradiksha or Rajuka or Yukta. Then there was government of the city like municipality. Okay, according to Megasthenes, administration of Patliputra, the capital city of Maurya Empire, was looked after by a committee of 30 members. Then there was revenue system also. Two kinds of taxes, namely Bali and Bhaga, are mentioned in the Edicts of Ashoka. Okay, and toll tax was imposed on articles which were brought for sale. And spy system also existed. Chandragupta Maurya had a wide network of spy and spy after spy. And military administration, around 6,000 infantry, 30,000 cavalry, and 9,000 war elephants existed under the Chandragupta Maurya and Bindusara Empire. Okay. Then king was the commander-in-chief, as I told you earlier. And students, there is a very important thing, Ashoka Dhamma. A new religion was created by Ashoka. That is, Dhamma has described in Ashoka Dix is not a religion, okay, but a moral law, common code or ethical order. Okay, and it gives us some of the principles like respect to the elders and love the children, hinsa or non-violence, good deeds and good karma. He told people to respect all religions and disproved empty rituals. And due to this, there was religious unity, there was moral values existed among the people, and there was end of crimes. And the officers were not engaged in wars and so on. They took up the public welfare to build public schemes and so on. So that's all from this chapter. So go through this chapter and solve the questions. Thank you.